Sorry, God reminded me of something, and I had to do a part two, so I wanted to get this out real quick. So, somebody just asked me, what do I think about the Gospel of Thomas, which are the 114 sayings of Jesus when he was on the earth, resurrected for 40 days on the earth. It's a very small window that he could have written that information, because it says the living Jesus, which means he resurrected when it introduces it. And there's something that most people don't know. It's in Revelation, but the 24 elders that are like basically like sitting before the Lamb around his throne or whatever. The 24 elders are supposed to be the ones that wrote the Old Testament, the major and minor prophets like Moses, Zephaniah, Haggai, Malachi, all those ones. So the disciples in the Gospel of Thomas ask him a question, and he says, "You are speaking of the dead when the living one is in your presence." Jesus, when he resurrected, which represents the books that came out of the ground, because Jesus rose out of the ground. So the Word rose out of the ground on the third day. Jesus rose out of the ground on the third day. So it's like Jesus is the Word and the Word. So in Peter, it says a day is as 1,000 years. So 2 days, and then the third day is now, the third millennium. That's when these books came out of the ground, is in 1949. Right after Israel became a nation. Those people that are in the land are not the true Israelites, but it doesn't matter. It was a time cue. So when Jesus says to the disciples who represent us, we, like what he says to one man, he says to all. So what he's telling you is that he says the living one is in your presence. What he's saying is the concept of the 24 is a dead concept, because there isn't two testaments, there's three. Matthew 13:33, the woman is the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, and the bread rises after she puts 3 lumps in it. The 3 lumps are the 3 testaments, and we have been led astray by the religious priesthood. There's a religious priesthood and a scientific priesthood, and they both have ruled since the beginning, since like Babylon, since Babel, since Cain, since all the very beginning of time. And your power lies in the fact that you can find this out and you can preach this. And when you can preach this, you will rule over the archons, which are the fallen angels. And they're the ones that are promulgating this lie to this very day. They're the ones that taught the people of Israel in the first place all these carnal ways of thinking instead of thinking about things spiritually. And that's why people to this day think that you have to obey food laws when it has nothing to do with food. Those are meant to show you what kinds of people will be in the world. The pigs are false Christians, the dogs are false Jews, and it goes on like that.